Zora's body convulsed violently on the woven mat, her skeletal fingers clawing at the air as if trying to grasp something invisible. Blood trickled from her cracked lips. "The spirits," she gasped, her hollow eyes wide with terror. "They are coming for me. They know what I've done." Her mother Usha screamed, clutching her daughter's frail shoulders while the village elders stood frozen in the doorway, their faces twisted with horror and pity. Outside, storm clouds gathered over the coastal village as if the ancestors themselves were bearing witness to this moment. But how did the vibrant, beautiful Zara become this dying shadow? The answer lies in a secret so devastating, it would leave an entire community speechless. 5 years earlier, the fishing village of Mikono hummed with life. Brightly painted boats bobbed in the turquoise harbor while women in colorful kangas sold the morning's catch in the bustling market. Zara moved through the crowds like sunshine itself, her laughter infectious, her smile bright enough to make even the grumpiest fisherman grin. At 20 years old, she was the pride of her family. Her father Jabari owned 3 fishing boats, her mother Usha's cooking was legendary, and her siblings, 15-year-old Amina and 12-year-old Kofi, adored her. "Sister, will you braid my hair for the festival?" Amina asked, bouncing excitedly as Zara helped their mother prepare coconut rice and grilled fish for dinner. "Of course, little one," Zara replied, stealing a piece of mango from the cutting board. The aroma of spices filled their home, and everything felt perfect. That evening, as the family gathered around the low table, sharing food and stories, Zara couldn't have imagined that such simple joy would soon become nothing but a painful memory. The stranger arrived on a Wednesday, emerging from the forest path like a vision. Tall and elegant, draped in pristine white robes, he carried himself with an otherworldly confidence that made people stop and stare. He called himself Bahati, which meant luck, and he spoke with the smooth persuasiveness of someone who had practiced his words 1,000 times. "Gather around, children of the coast," he announced in the market square, his voice carrying effortlessly over the crowd. "I have traveled from the mountains of the moon, where the ancient ones revealed to me the secrets of true power." Zara paused with her basket of vegetables, curiosity pulling her closer. "Your ancestors knew truths you have forgotten. Fire, that gift you think civilized you, actually destroyed your connection to the spirit world. Every time you cook your food, you kill its essence, its soul. You consume death and wonder why you remain ordinary." "Madness," an old fisherman muttered, walking away. But others lingered, intrigued. Zara found herself captivated by Bahati's intensity, the way his eyes seemed to pierce through the crowd and find each person's deepest insecurities. "Some of you are meant for greatness," Bahati continued, his gaze now fixed directly on Zara. "But greatness requires sacrifice. It requires the courage to stand apart, to embrace what others fear." Something stirred in Zara's chest, a hunger she hadn't known existed. That night, she returned to hear more, this time alone. Bahati sat beneath a baobab tree, seemingly expecting her. "Oh, the fisherman's daughter. I saw the light in you immediately." "What light?" Zara asked, trying to sound skeptical but failing to hide her eagerness. "The light of someone destined for more than marriage and motherhood, more than gutting fish and gossiping at the well. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness. That sense that you were born for something greater." His words struck like lightning. Yes, she had felt exactly that. While her friends giggled about which boys they'd marry, Zara had always felt a vague dissatisfaction, a yearning for significance she couldn't name. "The spirits have chosen you as a vessel," Bahati said, leaning forward. "But first, you must prove your dedication. For 1 year, you must eat only raw food, nothing touched by fire. Your body will purify. Your spirit will awaken. And when I return, you will have powers beyond imagination. You will see the future. You will heal the sick. You will guide your people through the darkness that is coming." "Darkness? What darkness?" "That will be revealed when you are ready. Do you accept this calling, Zara? Or will you remain ordinary forever? The question hung in the humid night air. Zara's heart pounded. She thought of her predictable life, of becoming just another wife, just another mother, fading into the background of village life. Here was a chance to be exceptional, to be remembered, to matter. I accept, she whispered. If you're already hooked by Zara's fateful decision, hit that subscribe button now because this story is about to take some shocking turns you won't want to miss. The next evening, when Osha served her famous fish stew, Zara pushed her bowl away. I'm not hungry, Mama. Not hungry. You love this too. Osha's face showed hurt confusion. Jabari looked up from his meal, frowning. Eat, Zara. Your mother worked hard on this. I said I'm not hungry. The sharpness in Zara's voice shocked them all. She grabbed the mango from the bowl and left the table, leaving her family staring after her in bewilderment. This was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks. Zara ate only fruits, raw vegetables, nuts, and seeds. At first, her family tried patience. It's just a phase, Osha assured Jabari. But when Zara refused food at her engagement celebration with Rashid's family, patience gave way to alarm. Rashid, a kind young man with warm eyes and steady hands from years of repairing fishing nets, had loved Zara since childhood. His family had prepared a feast, dozens of dishes representing their joy at welcoming her into their family. Zara, please, Rashid whispered urgently as his mother presented grilled lobster, her specialty. Just eat a little. You're embarrassing both our families. I can't, Zara said flatly, her eyes distant. You wouldn't understand. Rashid's mother's smile faltered. His father's expression hardened. The celebration continued, but the damage was done. Whispers spread through the village like wildfire. She refused the engagement feast. She's been cursed. Bad spirits have taken her mind. The family is doomed. Within a month, the consequences multiplied like fish in a net. Fishermen began avoiding Jabari's boats, believing his cursed daughter brought bad luck. My catch has been terrible since your girl went mad, one captain told him bluntly. Jabari's thriving business started to crumble. Amina came home crying one afternoon. The boys at school say I'm cursed too. Mama, why won't Zara just eat normal food? What's wrong with her? Osha had no answers. She tried everything. Pleading, Zara, my daughter, please tell me what's happening. Anger, this selfishness is destroying our family. Bargaining, just eat cooked food in public, you can eat whatever you want at home. But Zara remained unmoved, locked in her conviction that she was undergoing a sacred transformation. 3 months in, Zara's body began to change, and not in the glorious way Bahati had promised. Her skin lost its glow, becoming dull and dry. Her thick, beautiful hair thinned and broke. Dark circles appeared under her eyes. But when Osha confronted her with a mirror, Zara saw something different. I'm being purified, Mama. The physical body must weaken so the spiritual body can strengthen. You see. When Bahati returns, everything will make sense. Bahati. Who is Bahati? Osha's voice rose with panic. Zara, what has someone done to you? But Zara wouldn't say more. She spent hours alone on the beach, waiting for visions that never came. The lightheadedness from malnutrition, she interpreted as spiritual transcendence. The confusion and brain fog, she told herself, were her consciousness expanding beyond normal perception. Rashid tried one last time. He found her sitting on the rocks at sunset, staring at the horizon. Zara, I love you. I've loved you since we were children playing in the tide pools. But I can't marry someone who won't even share a meal with my family. More than that, I can't watch you destroy yourself. Please, just tell me what's happening. Let me help you. Zara turned to him, and Rashid flinched at the zealous gleam in her sunken eyes. You can't help me, Rashid. You're too ordinary. You can't see beyond this mundane existence. I'm becoming something greater, something you could never understand. Perhaps it's better we don't marry. You'd only hold me back. Rashid's face crumpled with pain. The Zora I loved would never say something so cruel. He walked away, and Zora told herself she didn't care. She was beyond such earthly attachments now. She was chosen. But late that night, alone in her room, she cried into her pillow, wondering why transcendence had to hurt so much. 6 months passed. The village's patience evaporated completely. Kofi got into fights defending his sister's honor, coming home with black eyes and bloody noses. They call her the ghost girl, he sobbed to his mother. They say she's already dead but doesn't know it. Amina stopped going to the market, unable to bear the pitying looks and whispered comments. Jabari's 2 best fishing crews quit, and he had to sell one of his boats. The family's savings dwindled. One evening, Chief Baraka himself came to their home, accompanied by the village elders. The old chief's face was grave. Jabari, your daughter has become a problem for the entire community. The bad luck has spread. Boats are sinking. Catches are small. Marriages are failing. Some say it's because we are harboring a cursed one. She's not cursed. Osha cried. She's sick, she needs help, not exile. Then get her help, the chief said firmly. But if she continues this behavior, if she keeps refusing our ways and bringing shame to our traditions, she cannot remain in Mikono. You have until the full moon to resolve this, or your entire family must leave. The ultimatum hung heavy as storm clouds. The full moon was only 2 weeks away. Zara, who had been listening from the doorway, stepped forward. Her appearance shocked even the elders who had watched her grow up. She looked like a skeleton draped in skin, her eyes too large for her gaunt face, her once vibrant body now fragile and trembling. You're all blind, she said, her voice thin but defiant. You persecute me because you're afraid. Prophets are never accepted in their own land. But when Bohoti returns, when I come into my full power, you'll beg for my guidance. The darkness is coming, and only I can lead you through it. What darkness? Chief Baraka demanded. What is this nonsense? It was revealed to me by the spirits. A great teacher showed me the path. I've sacrificed everything to prepare, and soon, enough. Jabari's roar silenced her. No more of this madness. You will eat a proper meal tonight, or I will tie you down and force-feed you myself. Father and daughter stared at each other, both trembling with emotion. Finally, Zara turned and ran out into the night. Are you ready for what happens next? Drop a comment below predicting Zara's fate because the next part will blow your mind. She ran until her weak legs gave out on the beach where Bohoti had first spoken to her. She collapsed in the sand, weeping with frustration and confusion. Where are you? She screamed at the ocean. You promised to return. You promised I'd have power. I've given up everything. But only the waves answered, indifferent to her anguish. For the first time, a tiny seed of doubt sprouted in Zora's mind. What if she'd been wrong? But no, she crushed that thought immediately. Doubt was just another test. She had to stay strong. The full moon arrived too quickly. Chief Baraka summoned the entire village to the central square. Zara stood before them, barely able to remain upright, her family clustered protectively around her. The chief's voice boomed across the gathering. Zara, daughter of Jabari, you have brought discord to our community. You reject our food, our traditions, our way of life. You speak of spirits and darkness and powers that none of us can see. The time has come for truth. Explain yourself now, or accept banishment. Zara swayed on her feet, her mind foggy from malnutrition. But pride still burned in her chest, that desperate need to be vindicated, to be proven right. A great teacher came to me, she began, her voice carrying across the silent crowd. His name was Bohoti. He told me I was chosen, that I had a special light. He said fire kills the spirit in food, that cooked meals destroy our connection to our ancestors. He promised that if I ate only raw food for 1 year, I would develop powers. I would see the future. I would heal the sick. He said darkness was coming and only I could guide you through it. She paused, breathing heavily. I've endured your mockery, your cruelty, your rejection. I've sacrificed my engagement, my family's reputation, my own comfort, all to become what you need me to be. Bohoti said he would return when I was ready, and then you would all understand. Then you would all see that I was right too. Child, stop. The voice came from Mama Delilah, the village's oldest woman. She hobbled forward, leaning on her walking stick, her ancient face creased with pity. Bohoti, you said. Tall man, white robes, speaks like honey but his words are poison. Yes. Zora's face lit up with hope. You've met him. You know him. Oh, I know him, Mama Delilah said sadly. Or men like him. They come every few years, moving from village to village. They find young people, hungry ones, searching ones, and they tell them they're special. They promise power, purpose, greatness. And then they vanish, leaving broken lives behind them. She shook her head. 15 years ago, a boy from the northern village followed the same teaching. His name was Jumo. He died at 23, his body destroyed by malnutrition. 5 years before that, twin sisters in the eastern village. Dead at 25. Your Bohoti, child, is a con man. A predator. And you have been his prey. The words struck Zora like physical blows. No, she whispered. No, that's not, he was real. He knew things. He saw into my soul. He saw a bright young girl who felt ordinary and wanted to be extraordinary, Mama Delilah said gently. That's all he needed to see. The rest was just telling you what you wanted to hear. The square erupted in murmurs. Some villagers expressed anger at Bohoti, others pity for Zora. But Zora heard none of it. Her mind replayed every interaction with Bohoti, seeing them now through new eyes. His vague promises. His convenient departure. His insistence on isolation and secrecy. How had she been so blind? I thought I was special, Zora said, her voice breaking. I thought I was chosen. I thought, her legs buckled. Rashid, who had been standing in the crowd, leaped forward and caught her before she hit the ground. Get the healer, someone shouted. Get water. But when the village healer, old Mziha Misai, examined Zora, his face grew grave. He pulled Jabari and Osha aside. I need to be honest with you. Years of severe malnutrition, her organs are failing. Her body has been eating itself to survive. Even if we feed her now, the damage may be irreversible. We can try, but you should prepare yourselves. Osha's wail of grief echoed across the square. Jabari's strong shoulders shook with sobs. Amina and Kofi clung to each other, crying. The village, which moments ago had been ready to banish this family, now rallied around them. Women brought broths and soft foods. Men offered to carry Zora home. Even those who had been cruelest now felt the weight of collective guilt. They carried Zora to her home and laid her on a mat. For days, the family tried to feed her small amounts of easily digestible food. Sometimes she kept it down. More often, her damaged body rejected it. Doctors were summoned from the nearest town, but they offered little hope. Why? Osha kept asking, holding her daughter's skeletal hand. Why would someone do this to you? Why would you do this to yourself? Between moments of lucidity and delirium, Zora tried to answer. I was so afraid of being ordinary, Mama. Everyone else seemed content with simple lives, but I felt this hunger for more. When Bahati told me I was special, that I was chosen, it felt like the answer to everything I'd been feeling. I thought suffering made me noble. I thought sacrifice made me worthy. I thought if I just endured long enough, pushed hard enough, I'd transform into something magnificent. She coughed, and blood flecked her lips. But I was just a fool. A proud, stupid fool. Rashid visited every day, sitting beside her mat even though she'd broken his heart. "Why do you come?" Zara asked him weakly. "I was so cruel to you." "Because I love you," Rashid said simply. "Not the person you tried to become, but the person you were. The girl who laughed at my terrible jokes. Who helped the fisherman's children learn to swim. Who once told me that happiness didn't have to be extraordinary to be real." Tears streamed down Zara's hollow cheeks. "I forgot that. I forgot that being loved was enough. That being someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's friend, that was already special. I threw away real treasure chasing after fool's gold." As the days passed, Zara grew weaker. Her kidneys were failing. Her heart struggled with each beat. The family kept vigil, taking turns sitting with her, telling her stories, singing the old songs. Kofi brought her flowers from the forest. Amina braided what remained of her hair. Jabari read to her from the old tales of their ancestors. And Osha cooked all Zara's childhood favorites, even though Zara could barely taste them, just so the aromas would fill the house with memories of better times. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and gold, Zara called her family close. Her voice was barely a whisper now. "I'm sorry," she said, looking at each of them. "Papa, I destroyed your business. Mama, I rejected your love. Amina, Kofi, I made your lives miserable. Rashid, I threw away our future. All because I thought I needed to be more than I was." She struggled for breath. "But you were right. I was already enough. I was already special, because I was yours. Forgive me for taking so long to understand." "We forgive you," Osha sobbed, cradling her daughter's head. "We forgive you, my child. Rest now." As darkness fell, Zara's breathing became labored. The family gathered even closer, holding her, surrounding her with the love she'd rejected for so long. "Mama," Zara whispered, her eyes struggling to focus. "I see them now. The ancestors. They are here." "What do they say, my daughter?" Osha asked, tears streaming down her face. Zara's cracked lips formed a small smile. "They say, I can come home now. The real home. Where I was always enough." Her eyes closed. Her breathing stilled. And at 25 years old, Zara's spirit left her broken body behind. The family's grief filled the small house, spilling out into the village where the news spread like wildfire. The girl who wanted to be extraordinary had died an ordinary death, a victim of pride and deception. They buried Zara at sunrise, according to tradition. The entire village attended, even those who had mocked her. Chief Baraka spoke at the funeral. "Let Zara's story be a warning to us all. There are those who hunt for the hungry-hearted, who prey on those who feel they don't belong. They promise purpose, power, significance. But true significance doesn't come from rejecting who you are. It comes from embracing it." Mama Delilah added her wisdom. "We failed this child too. We made her feel that ordinary life wasn't enough. We created the hunger that the con man exploited. Let us honor her memory by celebrating the simple, beautiful things. By making sure every child in this village knows they are already special, already worthy, already enough." In the months that followed, the village changed. Parents hugged their children more. The community celebrated small joys more intentionally. And Jabari, though his heart remained broken, started a tradition. Every year on the anniversary of Zora's death, he gathered the young people of the village and told them her story. Not to shame her memory, but to honor it. to ensure no other bright soul would be deceived into destroying themselves in pursuit of false promises. Rashid never married. He became known as a protector of the village's youth, particularly vigilant about strangers bearing gifts of easy enlightenment. Amina grew into a strong woman who named her first daughter Zara, determined to teach the child that she was precious exactly as she was. Kofi became a fisherman like his father, finding joy in the simple rhythm of the tides, the satisfaction of honest work, the beauty of an ordinary life well lived. Years passed. The fishing village of Mikono continued its eternal dance with the sea. But in a small corner of the village cemetery, beneath a simple stone, lay Zara. And on that stone, Usher had insisted on a specific inscription, words meant for every soul who might pass by and feel that dangerous hunger for more. Here lies Zara, beloved daughter, sister, friend. She sought to be extraordinary and forgot she already was. But here's the thing about Zara's story that the village doesn't know, that her family never discovered. Remember that blood Zara coughed up in her final days. The healer kept a sample, as was traditional, in a small vial to be blessed by the priest. 3 days after Zara's burial, that vial began to glow with an eerie phosphorescent light. And when Mama Delilah went to investigate, she found something impossible. The blood was moving, swirling with patterns that looked almost like writing, almost like a message. The old woman stared at the vial in her trembling hands, her ancient heart hammering with a terrible realization. What if Bohoti hadn't been lying about everything? What if the transformation he promised was real, but the price of achieving it was death itself? What if Zara had actually succeeded in her quest, but awakening her power required her to cross into the realm of the ancestors first? Mama Delilah looked toward the cemetery, where Zara's fresh grave lay beneath the moonlight. And in that moment, she swore she saw a figure standing there. A glowing figure. A figure that looked exactly like Zara, but radiant, powerful, transformed. The figure turned, and though it was too far away to see clearly, Mama Delilah could have sworn it smiled before vanishing into thin air. The old woman's hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the vial. Should she tell the family? Should she tell the village? Or should she keep this secret and let Zara's sacrifice be remembered only as a cautionary tale? Because if she revealed what she'd seen, if she told them that maybe, just maybe, Bohoti's promises had been true after all, what would stop the next hungry-hearted young person from making the same fatal choice? Mama Delilah stood frozen in her hut, the glowing vial in her hands, the weight of an impossible decision on her shoulders. And in the cemetery, in the space where she'd seen that glowing figure, a single white feather lay on Zara's grave, though no bird had been anywhere near. If this story left you speechless, imagine what else is coming. Smash that like button and subscribe because we have more African folktales that will shake you to your core. Drop a comment telling us what you think really happened to Zara. Was it all a tragic delusion, or did she actually transform into something beyond our understanding? The truth might be more terrifying than you think. And remember, the next time someone promises you're special, ask yourself what price they're asking you to pay.